Welcome to my channel. I am Genie Ali, and since 2017 I have been testing John Frawley's method from his book Sports Astrology on every sport you can imagine that involves two teams facing each other, and that also involves boxing and fighting. So, for example, basketball, soccer, American football, Aussie rules football, rugby, cricket, you name it. Ice hockey, if I haven't mentioned it. And testing charts for those games, and a lot of them, a few of them you can see behind me, led me to finding many new secrets that you will not find, or anyone that reads the book will ever find in it. And I might share some of them with you on this channel. But anyway, today we're gonna talk about, or I'm gonna introduce why an outer planet making an aspect near the cusp is very important when trying to find a unique chart. Right? And I'm gonna do that through via a game I found that was unique on January 23rd, yesterday. I'm so deep into this astrology that I kind of forget that what the date is of like today or yesterday. But anyway, so it was the St. Louis Blues hosting the Vegas Golden Knights. All right, and the Vegas Knights were favored. I bet on it, of course. I have to show you my bets, all right, because I've become a very professional and successful sports gambler, because I'm just winning and winning. I'm not losing anymore. But I'll get into that in some other video. Anyway, so the odds were actually very good for the Knights. It wasn't minus 197 as you can see here. It was actually a plus odd. It was like plus 101, plus 104, and they actually immediately scored, like within the first 2-3 minutes or something like that. And I was like, what? So I immediately wagered. But anyway, let's look at the chart. All right, enough talking. So here's the main aspect. Uranus right inside the 10th. Okay, and oh, I forgot to mention the reason why outer planet aspects are significant is because of the orb, the range of the orb, which is very tight. According to Frawley, it's like approximately 1 degree, and according to my testing and my data, it is probably 1 degree. I usually do it at 0.99. If it's 1, I'll be a little hesitant, but I would do 0.99, and you can test it out if it's just 1. But anyway, so Uranus was on the 10th, and that is a huge testimony for the favored team, Vegas. All right, so that was one aspect. The other aspect was the ruler of the pot of fortune. What am I doing? So the pot of fortune was on the 7th by Anti-Scion. All right, my phone is like lighting up. I have to put it on silent. Anyway, and the third aspect, which I'm absolutely forgetting, was the ruler of the first, which is Leo and Sun, by Anti-Scion on the 4th cusp. Alright, so I'm just going to label here, but I'm going to show you the chart here. Here's the chart. Alright, so we had Uranus 10th, pot of fortune by Anti-Scion, or Fortuna Anti-Scion on the 7th. That favors St. Louis. Alright, so one aspect to the underdog, Uranus 10th to the favorite, 1 to the favorite. Let me just label it as 1, 1, 2, 2, and so one Anti-Scion was actually inside the 4th. Okay, 3. So this is the chart, right? And I was confident it was unique because there was nothing else there were other games at this time, but nothing else had Uranus inside the 10th. There were other games with Uranus outside on the cusp, but that makes it different because since Uranus is retrograde, being on outside the cusp or on the cusp would make it a weak aspect, right? Because it's retrograde. Now, if it wasn't retrograde, then it would have been shared, all right? Sorry, I'm being distracted here. All right, so that was the chart. So there was a 1 to the favorite, strong aspect, 1 to the underdog, strong aspect, and a weak aspect to the underdog, all right? Because it's by anticyon, right? And anticyon in or outside the cusp is weak. All right, so weak underdog. Well, what's going on here? Why am I weak under? All right, there we go. So now all I had to do, and what any astrologer should do, is look into your database for a record. All right, and so let's go into the database now. Here was the first one. It was a baseball game. Pirates against the Cubs. Cubs were favored. Let's look at the chart. Would you look at that? Another outer planet aspect. All right, Neptune, which is a malefic. Oh, by the way, I forgot. So Uranus, I mentioned Uranus is a good outer planet. All right, so whatever it touches, it will benefit. So because it's on the 10th cusp, which is the cusp of the 10th house, which is the house that represents the favorite, Uranus being inside of it favors Vegas, right? And Vegas won, by the way, because they were favored. So right here, back to the record chart, Cubs were favored. Now, Neptune is a malefic, so it's like the opposite. It's a bad outer planet. So whatever it touches, it afflicts. And because it was on the 4th, it afflicted the 4th cusp. And the 4th cusp is this one, the 4th house, represents the underdog. And because since Neptune is on the 4th, it favored the Cubs. All right, so that's 1 to the Cubs. And then we had the anti-sign of Pot of Fortune from Scorpio to Aquarius. And when it's in Aquarius, it opposed the depositor of Fortuna, which is Mars, right? Yes, it's Mars because the Pot of Fortune right here is in Scorpio. So the dispositor of Fortuna is Mars, and it is opposing the anti-sign of Fortuna, and that's 1 to the underdog. 2 and a weak aspect, 7 on 7th. All right. When a ruler of a house is on its own cusp, then it is a weak aspect. And there, this is the weak aspect. All right, the same thing. Look, 1 to the favorite, 1 to the underdog, and a weak 1 to the underdog. And guess who won? The favorite won. Cubs won. Alright, and then we have another one. This was the Nations League last year in, what's the date? November 14th, alright, 2024. England was favored on the road against Greece. Look at that, another outer planet. Pluto, a negative planet, on the 7th. Alright, the 7th cusp, or the 7th house, represents the underdog, and Pluto being right in it, right on the cusp, or in it, favored England, alright, because Pluto is afflicting the 7th cusp. Alright, so that's 1 to England, favorite. Then we had Moon making a sextile to the ruler of 7th, which is Capricorn, so Saturn. Where's Saturn? There. Alright, so that's another one, Greece, underdog. And then we had the ruler of 7th, Saturn by antisign, inside 4th, which is a weak underdog. Same thing, guess who won? Favored England. Favorite won. Alright? And so, when I looked at the records here, the Cubs, Pirates, and England, Greece, and then when I confirmed that this was unique, the Blues and the Knights game, I was confident that the favorite would win, and that's why I bet on them, and that's why they won. Alright, it's as simple as that. It becomes very easy when you have a large database, and that's what I have, and it's, you know, it's kind of smooth sailing. Gotta tell you that. Well, yeah, that's it. And so that's why the outer planets are important when trying to find a unique chart. Mainly because of the tight orb that it has. It's 1 degree, alright? It has to be within 1 degree. Yeah, so that's it. That was another chart. I have another video coming up. I'll probably make a Super Bowl prediction. And yeah, that's all. Keep charting. Look for the outer planet charts. And good luck. Genie Ali signing out. Thank you for watching.